Hello and welcome to your astrological vibrations for Thursday, November 17th, 2022 by Gaia Blooming. I'm Mimi and our energy mantra for today is I empower my flow. And as we finish up our last few days of Scorpio, working to empower ourselves through anything that we have been through, moved through, is the name of the game. And we are at the crux of alchemy. I am calling the last few days of Scorpio, the first few days of Sagittarius, the crux of alchemy, where we can take those places where we found puny and little and victimized, any of that, fearful, and work on empowering those energies, work on finding the power in those places. And today's astro is feeling very inspiring. We have Mercury today moving out of Scorpio and into Sagittarius. And as I sat down with the chart, a song came on my head that I have not heard for a very long time, and I had to put it on YouTube. It's Things Can Only Get Better by Howard Jones. Go look it up and even listen to the lyrics. It was very interesting. I had to actually look up the lyrics because I never actually knew what he was saying. But he asks at one point, do you feel scared? At one point he says, I do. At one point he says, I don't. But I won't stop and falter. And things can only get better. And I read something this afternoon that had the quote, energy follows thought. And that's something we know. We've all heard that before. But I feel like this is a reminder for Mercury moving into Sagittarius that, or action follows thought. That's what it is. Energy follows thought too, but action follows thought. Action and energy follows thought. With Mercury in Sagittarius, we're being asked to take aim. And we can aim into the dirt. We can aim straight ahead. We can aim up. It's up to us where we take that aim. And the aim in this case is our mental energies, our mental processing. This doesn't mean spiritual bypassing. This doesn't mean saying things are great when they're not. But it means there are always solutions, right? Soul-based problem solving. Soul-based, sometimes it's not problem solving. Sometimes it's soul-based alignment that can happen for us, with us, based on our personal intent, based on the guidance we give our mental energy. And this is what Mercury in Sagittarius reminds us. Things can only get better. I say at the end of every scope, the better it gets, the better it gets. And truly, when we start working on that path, things can only get better. Things start looking up. It doesn't mean that we don't have those moments. It doesn't mean bad things or challenging things don't happen. But we can alchemize the energy. We can utilize the energy. We can figure out, okay, this is what I'm meant to be learning in this energy, in this situation. Mercury in Sagittarius supports this, but it reminds you, you are in charge of the arrow, which way you're aiming the arrow, and your ultimate trajectory of the arrow, which in this case is your thought and what moves from it. So this energy is powerful, and it is in your hands, but more so in your head, so to speak. So it's up to you how you can utilize this. Now, what we need to be aware of with Mercury and Sagittarius is spiritual bypassing other people's stuff. You know, like if somebody comes to you with a problem, it doesn't mean, oh, things can only get better. The better it gets, the better it gets. You know, that's not our responsibility to do that for somebody else. That's not our call to do that for somebody else. We can help them get there if that is what they're asking for in support. But really, this is a personal process. Sagittarius, Mercury in Sagittarius, can turn us all into the know-it-alls. So it's important in this energy to not think that you know it all. Sometimes we need to be down in the hole, right? Sometimes we need to be in that Scorpio process, before we can alchemize it. And that's an important step in the process. I feel like the Astro Wheel, it shows us like all of the experiences that we go through. So the aiming up, things can only get better. This is one part of the experience, but being in the hole is another part. So keeping that in mind in your own personal experience and for others in this energy, and not trying to bypass anybody's experience. In this energy as well, again, opposing Mars in Gemini, there is opportunity for so much shift. Sagittarius, while it can represent expanding horizons mentally, it can also be where we get stuck in belief and dogma and truth. And truth is a very, very sticky quicksand pit because the only thing any of us can connect to is what truth means as an individual for ourselves. And that doesn't necessarily mean that it is universal. And many people like to pass that off, but that is dogma. And so keep that in mind in and through this energy. And many of us have been instilled with beliefs. And it is okay for those beliefs to shift and change. And in fact, these energies are ripe for that. So keep that in mind as you trek through this energy. I love that in the cards today I have the traveling card. So Sagittarius, right? But this card to me is about releasing old baggage, which may be old, outdated ways that you're thinking about something. This can also be the dogma, the beliefs that are keeping you stuck, keeping you from expanding and moving towards the light. And it is here with the breakthrough card. And the breakthrough card is reminding us that a lot of times breakthrough has a lot of heart behind it. I always love that that white light looks like a heart in the middle. So keep that in mind in and through these energies. It doesn't look like this. We've got the guilt card, we've got the schizophrenia card. Steer your mind, but don't get stuck in the circles of your mind. I think that's a Barry Manilow song. It's the circles of something. The final card that we have is patience. And this is the other thing, because we start to think differently. Things can only get better. I'm going to have a good day. And then life happens, right? Because that's what life does. And we're like, well, that didn't work. Turnaround takes a while. It builds habit. Energy follows thought. Actions follow thought. Keep working on shifting your thoughts. Give it the time that it takes and see what happens. Mercury will be in Sagittarius through December 6th. So from now until then, let's see what kind of alchemy we can create in our lives, in the worlds, in our lives, in the world, in all of the worlds, and see what shifts. So, I'm going to leave that here for today. You can book a reading with me. Let's get shifty. Email me, mimiclark@gmail.com for that. Besides that, the better it gets, the better it gets. There's more than enough love in the world for you. You have the power, and honor your values. Namaste.